The road to the Isles has become a relatively affordable trip. RET, or Road Equivalent Tariff, is a 3-year pilot project introduced by the Scottish Government, which effectively halves the cost of taking a vehicle to the Outer Hebrides. The scheme was first rolled out across the 4 main island ferry routes, and after a slow start, visitor numbers have rocketed. I went to Lewis to find out how they're coping with the influx of tourists. The ferry terminal at Stornoway is the first port of call for many visitors to the Outer Hebrides. Caledonia McBrain's boats have been fully booked on all 4 routes for much of the summer, so much so that there have been calls for more ferries to meet the demand. The government's figures show an overall increase of 23% more cars and 14% more passengers compared with the same period last year.
We've gone from Malay to...
no, across the island.
To Skye.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Majestic.
When you get here, it's worth every penny that you pay.
And then from Ewing across to Loch Maddie.
The people are friendly and very helpful.
It's absolutely wonderful.
And then we're doing from here to Ullapool, which is the Opscotch, which has made it quite cheap actually.
Oh, we'll definitely be back.
Yeah.
Good, good.
I was going to go right around Scotland in 3 weeks.
But there has been criticism in some quarters as to whether the infrastructure is in place to cope with demand. I'm meeting Visit Scotland business manager Marianne McKeever to discover if the upsurge in numbers has caught them unawares.
Generally here, the accommodation sector is full to capacity during the peak summer months anyway, but also we have to remember this is the year of homecoming, and that's all added to the visitor numbers because there has been obviously additional promotion and marketing done.
Given the fact that all beds are full during the busiest times of the year, there's been criticism that the quality is really variable. How do you respond to that?
We do have quite a high quality product, particularly in the self-catering sector, and we've got 5-star guest houses as well. But there is still the lower end of the market, so it's getting that balance right, that we're actually able to cater for both sides.
If I was a tourist coming to the island for the first time, where would you recommend I have to see?
Well, our #1 attraction in Lewis is the Callanish Stones.
The Callanish standing stones have been on the west coast of Lewis for over 5,000 years. The visitor centre, a little less time. The world famous stones are older than Stonehenge and the pyramids of Egypt. Visitor Centre trustee Simon Fraser gave me a sense of how well the tourist season has been going.
The season definitely started earlier. Instead of starting towards the end of June, say, it began to pick up towards the end of May, and it's continued at a fantastic rate ever since.
Do you think that now, as a result of the big impact it's had this year and the positive impact it's had, that you can put things in place going forward, do you think?
I think the big challenge for us is making sure that we can provide all the necessary services, infrastructure for these people. But I'm sure there are plenty of things that we can do over the winter period to gear up for it. We've made 1 or 2 short-term changes here, much longer opening hours for instance, engaged more staff and that sort of thing.
I'm keen to discover if other island businesses, not directly related to the tourist economy, are taking advantage of cheap travel through the Road Equivalent Tariff scheme. Paulette Brough runs Rarebird, a manufacturer of bespoke Harris tweed handbags and accessories. She's found the advent of RET massively beneficial to her business.
I can get to the mainland now much cheaper. I'm saving £100 every time I go. I may make up to 15 trips a year from shores and supplying people, so that's £1,500 before I do anything else I've saved.
Hotels and B&Bs are all doing pretty well here, but there's another type of accommodation that's definitely on the up in Lewis, and that's the camper van. Now, Gordon McLeod is the owner of the Laxdale Holiday Park. Gordon, give us a sense of just how many numbers are up compared to the last few years.
Well, I would say there's about an increase of about 30 to 40% on last year. The season's started a lot earlier. I think the majority of it has to be put down to RET. One of the common comments that we've had is to people, you know, why have you come this year? I said, well, we couldn't afford it before, but now we can.
If it's going to be as successful in the next 2 years as it's been this year, I can't imagine it's not going to become a permanent fixture.
I've struggled to keep the shops on the island supplied, so I'm actually going to have to take on people, and that's through RET, so I'm hoping to employ somebody very soon.
Now, I've had the hotel experience in Lewis, but this camper van, I have to tell you, looks pretty comfortable. I'll just spend the night in here. On my own, thank you. Bye-bye.